Good morning, natural gas. It's Friday, April the 10th, 2026. I'm Tim Beggins, president of Elk Trading Company. And for the spot May contract, we're currently down. We're currently trading at 265.20, down 1.8 cents or 0.71%. So as you can see here, we're still below the 13 and 48 period exponential moving averages, but we're in that zone between two old lows. 268.90, 262.20. The RSI is going sideways from a low level, but not oversold yet. But we've got enough down days to continue to give us concern that we're due for a bounce. What's going to happen over the weekend? Will the war continue? We don't know. But one thing we can do is drop this particular daily chart down to the hourly chart. And as you can see, the market is holding below the 48 period exponential moving average. The RSI is trying to turn higher. And as you can see right now, we're just chopping around ahead of the weekend. What else is going on? The EIA report, this is natural gas storage report, was a plus 50. This was above expectations, but there was a revision of 4 BCF in the South Central. So most expectations were around 44 BCF. Without the revision, we would have been about 46 BCF. So good start. We're currently over 1.9 TCF to start the season. And here's the hourly chart using the pivot system. And as you can see, we're below the daily pivot, which comes in at 268.80. We're holding just above the first support level at 263.70 here. Again, the RSI is trying to turn higher. So you can use both hourly charts to give you an understanding. If we do get some short covering here, it will go through that 48 period exponential moving average on the hourly chart, and we would get above the daily pivot, which comes in again at 268.80. What else is going on? Well, here's the Middle East, and this is the Strait of Hormuz, and it's still quiet. Why? It's supposed to be a ceasefire, but the United States and Iran are still arguing over tolling at this particular strait, and there's still clusters of ships waiting to go across the strait, sitting off of Abu Dhabi and sitting off of Oman and, of course, Qatar. These are where the LNG tankers are centered, and we've got no tankers that are docked at Las Rafan. So right now, it's a stalemate. Everybody's staring it down. Let's see what happens this weekend. Let's turn to what else is going on for Golden Pass, and this is the LNG tanker. And we can see this. It's the HLC Eagle, and this LNG tanker is expected to make port here in Golden Pass in about 10 days. So it's sitting well off the coast of Morocco right now. It is moving toward the Gulf Coast, and it is supposed to pick up the first cargo from Golden Pass LNG on April the 20th. Let's turn to the strips because these are important technically. Let's look at the May through October strip. And as you can see, we've got a declining wedge here, and the RSI is going sideways for now. And that means that potentially we're coming down into this inflection point in the marketplace. Maybe tomorrow, Monday, I should say, the next trading day, or the next few days next week before this market starts to turn to the upside. Confirmation will be over 311.60. That's right there. And how about November, March? Well, also in a declining wedge pattern, and the RSI is also trying to go sideways here. We'll see what happens. It is down currently right now over 4.8 cents to 397.90. That's a big steep drop from the highs, that 4 peaks that up there around 476. So let's see what happens here over the next day or two. Monday, Tuesday, potentially even today, it could be a reversal day. But let's see what the news is over the weekend. I suspect the war may be back on. Let's take a look at the weather. In the United States, it is really going to be fairly mild here as we get through the forecast period. These are some 80s here across the Gulf Coast here from Texas, Florida, all the way back up into New York City here. on the 15th. And as you move forward in the forecast period, it becomes mild, but we start to see more 80s across the south. So is it going to be a hot summer? It's certainly dry. We'll talk about that in a minute. But right now, we're starting to see some 80s across the Gulf Coast. And how about Europe? Well, Europe is pretty mild. We got some cooler temperatures in Eastern Europe from Poland all the way down to Turkey. And then that pushes further into the interior. But right now, we start to see some cooler weather coming off the coast for Spain and France. And then it really just becomes warmer as we get through the forecast period. Again, we are in spring, so we're going to see bouts between slightly above and slightly below normal temperatures. And here's that slightly below here coming in around the 23rd and 24th for the northern tier of Europe. How about storage? Well, it's starting to increase here. We've begun the injection season across the EU, and the Netherlands is over 5.5%. And injecting, that's a good thing. They really need to kickstart their season off. How about Asia? Pretty much mild. It's across the board. It's just warmer, then a little bit cooler, but nothing extraordinary here. As you can see, there's some cooler weather that comes in around the 19th for Beijing, and then there's some eastern provinces get some cooler temperatures, but overall, this is starting to look rather mild. So we'll start focusing in more on weather. How about the U.S. nuclear fleet? Well, we're currently at 18.4 gigawatts that are offline today. That is well within the 5-year range. As you can see right now, looks like we peaked out several weeks ago for U.S. nuclear outages. Getting ready for summer. And how about that drought? And yes, it is still very dry all the way from New Mexico, Arizona, all the way across to the Carolinas, especially in parts of Texas, Arkansas, Colorado, and Florida. So we're going to keep a careful eye on wildfires and any potential pipeline risks. How about the tropics? Well, that's the Saharan air layer. As you can see right now, it is pushing into South America. This will inhibit any Atlantic basin hurricane activity. And we're still almost 2 months away. June 1st is the start of the Atlantic season. And how about the stocks? These are stocks between $2 and $10 billion in the oil and gas E&P sector and have a high short float over 10%. Only really Magnolia and Crescent Energy are in the green today. Everybody else is undergoing some profit taking. Oh, update, everybody's in the red. How about Golden Pass? Again, we're currently just about 400,000 MMBTUs going into the system. Again, that's half of the train one capacity between 800 and 850 MMBTUs. So here we are recapping again for the spot May contract. We're currently trading right now at 265.40, down 1.6 cents or 0.6%. Be careful here. We could get some news over the weekend. Everything is oversold at the moment. Everything is looking like we're in an inflection period. That could be anything from today or early next week. Be careful if you're short. So let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. Please hit that like and subscribe button. Thanks for listening. We'll see you soon.